Hi, everybody. I'm Tiffany Ave,
I'm Serena.
and this is the Culture Cousins podcast. We're two cousins critiquing the culture, and we know you can relate. Welcome to episode 23. We're back. I guess I could start with that. Yeah, we're back from hiatus. You could say life's been lifing. And I feel like if you follow us, if you subscribe to the channel, which you should do, know that our episodes will drop randomly. I think we've talked about maybe trying to do at least two a month or within that time. So that's kind of where we're at with it. Maybe some Carisha Please vibes, may just drop whenever. But since the hiatus or our last episode, I'll just say, for me personally, I've been just trying to grow creatively. I'll start there. Um, of course, I do this with Zarina. I love doing this with Zarina. But I've also kind of went like solo with it as well. Just because there's a lot of sometimes there's conflict with schedules and things like that, and I still have a lot of ideas. So sometimes I just use that as an opportunity to kind of still create when I can, which sometimes my own schedule is hectic. Um, but Tiffany Ave Takes, which is the web series that I do, kind of reaction series that I do, it's been growing gradually. Uh, I hit a peak at one point with one of my videos doing really well. So that was exciting for me, just kind to or trying to figure out like my lane and things that I'm good at, things that people gravitate towards. So it's been really interesting um, watching that and just looking at that like on platforms, which platforms do well with what content. Because to be honest, it's really random. Like one thing could work for one and not the other. So just studying that, going that, I've had a lot of time recently. Because just working traditionally hasn't been something that I've been doing at the moment. So that's given me a lot of time to kind of like focus and direct and kind of see and study the analytics of it. Although I'm no master, but it's just giving me kind of that time. I also started an interview series, Tiffany Ave Talks, which I'm really proud of. And I got to give a big shout out to Zarina because I feel like she helped me kind of get the groundwork with this podcast and our interview, which kind of gave me the confidence to go on and do that solo. So I owe a lot um, to her for that, and I can simply say that to you, which I've told her before, but it never gets old. Real life, just trying to find my way for like career, kind of um, find something where I can combine like that fulfillment where I get creatively, also with stability and paying bills, which is really hard, especially I guess with where I'm located. But looking at remote options and things like that. But I really want my career to incorporate um, the creative aspect, and I've tried to do things that are not like creative focused, and it just ends up with me feeling, you know, I don't know, almost resentment towards it a little
Right.
bit. So just working on that. It feel like it's purposeful. New year, trying to do better naturally. I feel like it's not really much of an update. So that's pretty much the gist of what's happening with me. What about you?
Honestly, I've just been resting, like just taking time to just rest, like during like the holidays and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
just do things like creatively that make me happy. Trying to see like other things that I'm good at, other than just like illustration and art and stuff, and just because I'm really interested in like a lot of things like music and film and astrology. So I try to take time and like nourish like all of those interests and
Mm-hmm.
like study them. Um, and just like take time for myself and like journal because I'm very like emotional. Like I can't like go a few months without having like an emotional outburst of some sort. So I just spend time just journaling my thoughts in case like I get like really heavy emotions. Because I mean, of
Mm-hmm.
course, I have people to talk to, but I don't want to feel like a burden on people when I'm just like dumping all my problems on them and not making it seem like I care about their problems. So I just try not to like overshare anymore. Um, um, and then lately, just in the year, I've been like kind of sticking more to routine because most of the time I just like lay in my bed all day and just like rot and just sit there and
Mm-hmm.
not do anything. So, but I mean, you know, with my son and stuff going to school now, like it's forcing me to like have some sort of routine. So makes me really feel like a mom. Like signed my first report card the other day. I'm like, okay,
Oh.
I mean signing report cards now. But then I just
Mm-hmm.
get in the habit of just not getting him ready for school and then cooking more and cooking, cleaning, make sure I have all that done before he gets home. And then pretty much I'll just spend the rest of the day trying to find like a, actual job or something like that or I don't really make content anymore because like the things I need in my life right now are just more urgent and I don't want to like unless it's something that I just enjoy doing for fun. But all that like my YouTube and me like taking pictures and stuff, I just not really give it up, but it's just I have other priorities like and I just have trouble staying focused. Like or maybe I just like run out of energy, I guess, because if I spend the whole day like filling out job applications, I'm not gonna feel like doing anything else. Or if I spend like 3 hours drawing, I'm gonna be just burnt out because I just get sleepy just in general from being up with my son and taking care of him. So it's just like I don't have energy for one thing at a time. Like so,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like he comes before anything. So him, and me come before like my content and what I put out into the world. And I just had other priorities, I guess. And I've just been trying to focus on getting rest and like laying down like if I'm just tired or whatever and don't overextend myself. And I guess I'm just not passionate about it anymore. Like I feel like it's like not necessarily impossible, but like realistically for me, like I want to do something more geared to helping other people in the world and helping people less fortunate than I am. Like that's what I see myself doing like seriously for a career in the future. Because I feel like that's why I was put here on this earth to help people. Because people always tell me you give good advice and stuff like that, and good emotional support system for people. And I really want to like help younger girls or girls my age because I feel like we always focus on helping kids and babies and young people, and you still should help those people. But I feel like sometimes you can be in your 60s and be depressed, or you can be in your 60s and be lonely, or you can be in your
Mm-hmm.
40s and need some type of community or whatever. But mostly like gearing it towards people who just don't really have like community because with stuff like homelessness or kids that run away or stuff like that or just been kicked out of their house or just don't have much family. There's also the lack of food and home, but there's also this lack of emotional support and community, especially around the holidays. Like, not everybody looks like their family looks like a two-parent home or whatever. Sometimes it looks like just them and their dog or something, or them and their baby, or just a single mom and her baby. So I just want to create space, not necessarily for just for people who are less fortunate, but just people where they can gather and still have celebratory things and see people that they know and have Christmas dinner and have some type of normalcy and have like a family somewhere that they can go to for like for free or limited cost or whatever. And there's also people who are facing those like stuff with like abusive homes or homelessness. I want to have resources for them to get them out of that situation and just like activities and ways where you can just express yourself, just like I guess a center, a nonprofit like organization where people can just come, like walk in type of stuff. But also
Mm-hmm.
have like planned things that we have going on. And like for example, like a lot of people didn't get to experience prom. And I got to experience prom, but you gotta think a lot of people probably didn't get to experience it for whatever reason. Or like I feel like when you get like after maybe you graduate college or something, like there's really nothing left to celebrate unless until you get married and have a baby. So, I feel like if you have a new YouTube video came out and you get really good numbers, that should be celebrated. You should get a cake for that or something like, and just like have an adult prom, like stuff like that, where you can still be celebrated for doing something small, where it's not this big superficial accomplishment that not everybody's able to meet. Because I didn't graduate college, so I feel like nowadays that's all you really get complimented on is if you graduate college or you have a baby or you get married, or in the rare case that you actually, make it big and become a really big celebrity, but they don't want to clap for those small accomplishments. And I want to create a place where everybody is celebrated for little things. Um, Whatever it is. Like if you want a spelling bee or something at school, like, sometimes you don't really, or if you're just a single mom, but like you may not have a big family, so you can celebrate with us so your child can feel like, they have a lot of people around them. Like I just want to do something like that. Or on the long side. It doesn't have to be that at all, but as long as I'm helping people, because I really like and focus and feel connected to like people who get like young mothers who get kicked out because they get pregnant or have sex, or people in the LGBT community for who get kicked out of their house for, um coming out and stuff. I like my heart goes out to those people especially because it's like not only do you not have a home, you don't have community, you don't have a mom, you don't have a dad, a brother and sister anymore. Like, and I can relate to that because I mean I do have a community, but it's not the one that I'm used to, or it's not the one I've always known. My life looks completely different from how it looked like 5 years ago. So that's why I feel so connected to that. Because especially as you get older, it gets harder to make friends too. So friends keep chipping off left and right, or people are just, growing apart, or people are getting married or having kids and stuff and just moving on. And those connections start to dwindle if you don't like keep constantly talking to them and stuff. So it's just a place to make friends if you're older and could have like a brunch or a meet and greet and stuff like that for just regular people, not like a superficial meet and greet like you would do at work or something. Like just a place where you can make connections with other people, because I feel like with social media it's also hard to connect with people and those social skills are like gone and stuff. So it's encouraging people to talk and have authentic experiences. So if I could do that somehow in the near future, because I feel like technology is only going to get more advanced. So I just feel like that's something I'm really passionate about, just like helping people and like kind of changing people's lives, but in like a smaller way. It doesn't have to be in a big, like gigantic kind of way where I'm handing out $1 million or anything. But I feel like those little simple things like creating a family that you never had that's worth a lot of money, like millions of dollars doing that for somebody. But other than that, like I've just been thinking about that and like being more like thinking about more what I'm passionate about. Um and just like trying to like create boundaries in my like romantic relationships, because I think like I've been very I'm a very passive person. Like I'm not very aggressive. I'm very passive, and even though like me and you come from a very like aggressive, like confrontational and tell how it is kind of family, but I feel like it's not good to be completely on the other end either. Like there has to be some kind of middle ground if you can get there, because it's not every situation there's not going to be a middle ground. Like either you're going to be extremely passive or have to be extremely aggressive, and you have to pick and choose which one you're going to be in that situation. But for me, it's like my relationships, like I've always kind of let people walk all over me, not necessarily in serious relationships, but just really all my relationships, I kind of family, friends, I kind of just let people just not walk all over me, but I don't really say how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've had interrelationships with guys and stuff where things have gone farther than I've wanted it to, and then I feel terrible afterwards because I know if
Mm-hmm.
I'd have just said no, it would have been okay. Like, but you know how guys are, they're like pushy, pushy, pushy with everything. And it's not so much that I guess I'm just like committing to like I guess like celibacy in a way, but not celibacy like in a religious way, like trying to get into heaven type of thing, but more so just celibacy trying to like I have like new boundaries as far as like being in relationships. Like I don't feel comfortable being intimate unless we are in a relationship. Like and I feel like, I haven't always felt that way or have had strong boundaries when it comes to being having sex and stuff, but now I'm just trying to be more like just trying to be more true to myself and true to my feelings and honor my feelings. And it's like the people that I deal with, I feel like, if they can't understand that, that's just a sign I shouldn't be dealing with them anymore.
Yeah.
So just having those conversations, I feel like is making me grow because I've had like situationships that were lasting for years, on and off type of thing. And recently I had to not necessarily cut them off completely, but just cut off the intimate part of our relationship. And um, it went better than I expected. And we both, it wasn't like nothing bad happened or, they were understanding to what I was feeling. So that confirmed me that, even though the conversation is uncomfortable, everything will be okay after the fact. So, and that's not something I usually do. Like, that was kind of like a small accomplishment for me because I usually don't do stuff like that. Like, me 2 or 3 years ago, be like, okay, let's go on ahead and like do the do. But now I'm just like,
Not do the
no,
do.
no, I just can't do it anymore. I can't let myself do that because it's
Yeah.
not even just that. It's just I made a promise that I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Not just because, just so I can just say like I did that for me and not anybody else.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of like my view on relationships are just different now. And like I think right, it was just easier for me to do that just because I knew that person would understand, but it was also very hard for me to have that conversation. And I'm trying to slowly like implement that to like higher authority figures in my life and friends and stuff and try to apply that principle everywhere as they come up, but it's like hard with the type of person it is. But I'm trying to do little by little and just being more like generous to people. I really want to be more generous like as I get older because I've been struggling like a lot lately and I don't want to like be known as someone who's like taking things from people and not giving anything. And, I don't really have much to give, but I can always try to, give what I can when I have it. Or just a simple gesture just to go out my way for someone and trying to change that part of myself because I don't want to come off like a user, even though most people probably wouldn't think that of me because everyone's aware of things I've been going through. But I just want to repay the favor and do good for other people like they've been doing good for me. I think just me being depressed on and off is just me not having absolutely anything. It's like sometimes it's hard to feel generous or want to be generous when you don't have nothing. But I'm gonna try to be more generous as far as just like with my time or with my energy and with my ears or whatever I can do and just be more generous to people when I can and just do more and like do more for people and do for myself and like get up and not rot and just like tell myself, okay, get up, let's do this, let's because usually sometimes I'll just like leave stuff there and be lazy and be like, oh, I'll get it later. And then now lately I just like, no, I'm just gonna go and clean it up now. Just clean it up now and then I feel better about myself that I do that or at least have like some kind of like thing going on in my life that I
Yeah.
want to do. So that's pretty much it.
Okay. When I listen to you talk, I feel like I see a lot of growth. Just because I know, like, just the journey, and I've kind of seen like you go through some of those stages. So, and I think I've also seen where I think people um want to project things onto someone or they want someone to kind of like, I don't know, evolve. But I feel like the thing is, we come to those moments when it's the right time for us. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of times, with family, they can kind of say, oh well, this person should be more like XYZ, or this
Right.
person should do XYZ. And it's not that the person doesn't want that or feel that, but you have to allow someone grace and time to get to that point on their own, and
Yeah.
instead of forcing it on them. And even like how you were saying, those gradual steps, like that's a part of the journey. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel like the environment pushes people to that point quicker than
Yeah.
others. But wanting that for yourself is when is when it's you're really gonna get it. Like, even to the point when you were talking about like the relationships and stuff like that. Like, you could, like, one person could feel that way super early in life, and another person super later in life, and
Right.
another person like back and forth. Like, it's just, I feel like society sometimes wants everyone to be at the same point all at
Right.
once, and it just doesn't work like that. But yeah, that was I feel like those are some great updates. Um,
Yeah.
so next, we're gonna kind of move into, of course, culture cousins. So discussing some things in the culture. Got a couple trending topics um, on the docket. So first one that we have up is J Hud, as she like to call herself on her show, with Jennifer Hudson and Common.
Mm.
Thoughts? Have any takes on that?
I mean, I think they're a cute couple. Um, I can appreciate that he is always like with a black woman, and I love that about him. He's very attractive. I love his music and stuff. Like he seems like a good person, but sometimes like I don't know, like of course he has a history of not dating people for a long time. So it's like I don't really know. I mean, there's some and I guess there's really nothing wrong with that because it's like no, I don't really see these women saying anything bad about him or anything like that. So that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing I would consider because even though he doesn't like if that's just his choice, that's just his choice, I guess, to not be serious with people. But I mean, it's like with him, he doesn't share too much of his personality either outside of his music. So I don't really know who he is as a person. So that's something else you have to consider. Um, but I mean, I feel like they both are very just like very positive people.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess me, my personality, I mean, I'm trying to be more positive, but I'm kind of like cynical sometimes and like glass half empty kind of person. So like but for me, it's almost just like kind of being real and cutting the crap. Like, like what is, and it's like I feel like Jennifer Hudson, people like her and Common, they never cut the crap. They're always positive all the time, and it's like that's great. That makes you very likable, but it's
And
also like,
PC.
who's the real you? Like, how do you? What makes you angry? Like I mean, it's just like, what are your real emotions? Like, you can't be happy all the time. Like, I love Jennifer Hudson. Like she is the goat. Like talented, all that. But I just can't sometimes. Like, but I do like. I feel like she's both happy. So I feel like it doesn't really matter as long as they're both at peace. Because they both seem at peace with the relationship, and all the women after the fact they seem at peace when they're not with him anymore, and they're both always happy. So clearly, I mean, they seem like they're very mature relationship too. So they're
Mm-hmm.
both mature people, but I don't see it lasting that long, honestly. But I hope it does. Like I'm always for black women getting married and settling down and being happy because I feel like Jennifer Hudson. I feel like the reason she is so positive is because she's had such a you know, dark experiences, and so I feel like she has to have the positive light and keep going because she's been through a lot. But it's like you can still like complain about traffic, like you know what I mean, like. But she's just always happy. But I guess that's why she's so well loved. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But I hope it lasts. Like they're a cute couple. Um, that's all I have to say about that.
Um, I'm not sure if they have, like, what type of conversations they have, or what type of conversations he has with the women, but you know how you talked about your views on relationships and how they've kind of changed.
Yeah.
I feel like I have had somewhat I don't know if it's a change, but I guess the realisticness of the relationship part, like I feel like in this common situation kind of like connects with that. So
Yeah.
he's usually in shorter term
Yeah.
relationships. And I feel like if depending on where you are in life as the woman, like I would much I would much rather like I'd be upfront, like, hey, you know, I like you, I'm into you, let's date or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, you know, and just being more upfront about like the intentions. So like if you it will come in the case, I don't know if he says this, but like, you know, I'm not really into things for a long time, but
Right.
I'm willing to treat you X, Y, and Z. We
Yeah.
do X, Y, and Z. I much prefer someone be upfront like that from the
Right.
beginning versus getting into it and you think, oh, this is gonna be the one, the soulmate, and then
Mhm.
you end
Yeah.
up getting heartbroken. Like I feel like if people are more transparent with their intentions and their feelings, which is sometimes hard for guys to do, but and women too. I'm not doing it on guys, but
Right.
I'm much rather that than just you know playing it by ear. Like what is that? Um, and that's just kind of an epiphany that I had because usually like younger Tiffany's like, oh, this is gonna be da da da, like more so fairy tale type
Yeah.
things versus realistic. So one point I had written down about them though is announcing the relationship.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good move or for me
I
personally?
mean, I feel
Go ahead.
like everybody already knew about it anyway. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think that was a cute move, and I mean, that's good traction for her show.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, everybody already knew y'all are together, so it's like not y'all wasn't trying to hide it or nothing. So, but I mean,
Right.
I think it's a cute little bit to do for her show. But it's
What
just
about
like
just celebrities in like in general
I feel like I mean,
or
if people
people?
already see you out, like there's no point in having a big announcement. I mean, what's the announcement? The Instagram post? Like, I mean, I feel like they're really being like kind of, oh yeah, my girlfriend, she is in Dreamgirls and she sung to Jamie Foxx. Like, okay, just like make out, like. But I mean, I
Yeah.
think that was cute for the show. But I mean, I guess there would be no point of having them on there if they weren't going to acknowledge the fact that they were going together. So I feel like that's the reason why they did that because it's like elephant in the room. But so I mean, that I can appreciate that too because I hate when people when there's a clear thing going on and they don't acknowledge it because they're in the same space. But if they weren't in that same space, it wasn't. I don't feel like they would have to announce it any other way or acknowledge
Yeah.
it any other way because y'all aren't trying to hide it. So
Or what about when the people they do like the Insta stories and one person be like on that side of the beach and the other person be on that side of the
yeah,
beach?
that's annoying too. Like I don't like that.
Neither.
If I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, I'm not a celebrity, but if I was a celebrity, I wouldn't be doing that. Like, I would just like the way I am with my relationships when it comes to posting and stuff. Like, I used to, once I'm in a relationship, I'm gonna post what I want. I'm not gonna post because I'm not gonna not post or post because of anybody else. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of that way now, but I haven't been in a relationship in a while. But I'm not gonna not post just because I don't want people to try to take my man or I don't want people in my business. No one cares about your business. They're gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, okay," and then scroll. Like no one
Mm-hmm.
cares. Like, but unless I'm insecure about a relationship, that's probably the only time I wouldn't post because I want to be heartbroken in private. So, but I think now I try to be more private with my life. Um, just because just share with caution, just because
Yeah.
people are nosy and do like give negative like vibes.
Mm-hmm.
But but yeah. Um That's why I just think like you should just do it not for anybody else, but for you. I feel
Hmm.
like.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like if I was in the limelight, or whatever, I would like how you said about like post what you want, but um I think like if you see me out, you see me out. Like I'm not going out of the way to like hide it. But like say for instance, if I am asked about it, I'm gonna go the Beyonce route. I'm just gonna be like, oh, we're just friends. Because technically it's true. Your friends are getting to know each other. And like I think sometimes depending on well, one, it depends on who the person is and what type of lifestyle they're into. Because sometimes like if it's someone like that's associated, let's just say like love and hip hop, that type of thing, that could be dramatic, like unnecessarily. So yeah, I'm not in no um big rush to like, oh, but the blogs and even in real life, just I kind of keep those type of things private just because sometimes guys are just embarrassing. They do the most, and if I'm not super confident in something, just let's just see, you know, what happens. The minute you say something is the minute, you know, it gets crazy. So, but yeah, speaking of relationships, speaking of posting, next topic, Halle Bailey. Okay. So she confirmed, there was a lot of rumors, speculation about her being pregnant, having a baby, DDG. And she confirmed, she posted the baby. And, once he was born. So, what are your thoughts on just her keeping that journey?
But I think it was a good idea that she did it, but as long as she did stuff on her terms. But it is annoying, like with him, when he's answering questions, he's like asking questions, and then they'd be like, "Is she pregnant?" He'd be like, "Y'all are so nosy." I'm just like,
Why are you doing
but you
that?
right, like he's more kind of irking me because he's very like not he's the exact opposite of her when it comes to privacy and stuff. He's a
Hmm.
YouTuber, so he posts everything about his life. So it's like elephant in the room. And then it's like she's doing press for all these movies, and it's just like it's kind of like trolling in a way. I feel like, but of course, you can't take her belly off or anything like that. But it's like, and she has obligations and stuff. It's just like one of those things where it's just like, ugh, like y'all kind of annoying me a little bit with that, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Him more so than her because he's very like out there and stuff. But I do appreciate the fact that she did it on her own terms. But you know, I don't know. I just feel two ways about it. Like I see both sides where it's kind of annoying that she's like, I don't know. But I do feel like people shouldn't be like that worried about her body either. Because I feel like there are people also trying to like police her body and what she wants to do with like, just having a baby. That's more upsetting to me. Versus what bothers me more than her keeping it secret is just people reacting to her being pregnant and being a young mother. Like that baby gonna be good. She gonna be all right. And I understand like, the side of people saying, well, people constantly like having babies now and not getting married. And I don't like that either. By the end of the day, it's like you gotta meet people where they're at. If she's at peace with that, then it's just like, hey, why are we getting mad when she's not mad? Like it's just but I mean I'm not that connected to celebrities to the point where a celebrity that's mad I'm a celebrity that's pregnant is gonna make me mad. Like that's her body. Like what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. Um, I will say that I like the fact that she. I'm not gonna say. Well, technically she did hide it, but I like the fact that not the fact that so much she hid it. I like the her style and keeping it hidden. I like. Well, okay. So it's kind of my point is kind of like conflicting a little bit. I like like say for instance, if she had announced it and still went about her journey up until that point the way she did, I think that would have been dope. Because her fashions were always kind of like tailored towards the bump, and like it was like maternity couture fashions, which I really enjoyed seeing. I feel like a lot of people, matter of fact, I think she's the only one maybe of this era that kind of took that approach. A lot of people, show off their bump, and that's fine. But I'm just, because we are in a lot of, I guess, overexposure culture, and to see someone kind of keep something private and to themselves, I feel like it's very, uh, one of a kind, and I like that. Um, One thing I will say, how you said about the DDG answering the questions, you're exactly right. I didn't think about that. But clearly, if you get on something and you allow people to ask questions, you know they're going to ask about situation, especially if there's a lot of rumors and speculation about it. You know someone's going to ask that. So that was just, um, I feel like that was baiting that in. Um, so yeah, that's a good point. But people on the internet and the blogs were like the FBI. They was like, this bag says Halo. This present says Halo. Oh, well, she was pictured here. Oh, the swimmer said that new moms just like you. Like they were on it. That's one thing about the internet in this era. Like it's kind of hard to hide stuff. And even when she announced it, I think that was odd because I think I saw something where she announced it and the guy was still kind of like pretending that he didn't know. So that was kind of ironic because he's been kind of like baiting them in, and then like it seems like they weren't on the same page about the approach to this, especially from the point you made, and then to the part where she announced it and he had no clue. That was funny, well not funny, but interesting. Um, but yeah, I feel like keeping something to yourself can be rewarding. Now, what I didn't get is, and then this is just from observation, what I didn't get the point of hiding it that long and then time the baby is born, showing the baby. Like that part was confusing to me because if you're gonna announce that you had the baby, why not announce, or you don't even have to announce it, but I don't know. I don't know. That part just was a little weird. Like I feel like I would have, if I had, kept it under wraps all that time, whew, all that time. Then once the baby was here, I would have kind of maybe kept it a little bit, until he's like one or something. And then you can always find a special way to announce it, like, "Hey, you guys, this happened, and I wanted to," you know how Drake did the world from the sun to the world. But yeah,
It's a
um,
way of breadcrumbing, so people can just keep wanting more and more. Like, I'm gonna show the pinky, then next time I'm gonna show a little bit of her hair, like his hair
I
or
hate
whatever.
that.
Like,
Yeah, I hate when they do that. Like it's um but I feel like, well, here's one point I want to make. She went through a lot of criticism from playing Ariel in A Little Mermaid. The fact that she was black, the fact that she had dreads, and that could have been extremely overwhelming for her. We don't know how she took that, you know. And then you have this persona that you have to keep up, and people will more than likely probably say things about her playing a Disney character and then having a child. I didn't see that much, but I know if she had announced it, that would have been something that people said. So I feel like she just wanted to eliminate um, too much harsh criticism and her mental health going through that and making sure she's happy and healthy and bringing a healthy child. So I do get that and I respect that. And I think that was wise of her to do. Um, Again, it's just the immediate announcement after he was born that kind of threw me off with it. And now I've seen where she's revealed like some pregnancy footage of her when she was actually pregnant. And I'm just like, that
yeah, I knew
part.
she was gonna do that. I knew it. Like, I knew once the baby was born, she was gonna post something. Cause it's like, I mean, I get it. It's a new baby. You're excited. So you just like, you've been hiding it so long. You want to share it. Cause I seen videos of her always saying she wants to be a mom and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that was hard for her to have to like not be able to share and really like. But she seemed very happy and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just
Yeah.
not for people commenting on her body and like her sexuality and stuff like that. Cause it is her choice.
Hmm.
She's young, so she's. I mean, it's her decision. You know, like it's her decision that it's her body. Like she wants to
Yeah.
have a baby, she can have a baby. Like I can see if she was like, didn't have any money or anything, the baby was gonna be taken care of. But hey, it's her body. I mean,
Yeah.
I've made the same not mistake because a baby is not a mistake, but I don't think he is really a good, not a good person, but you never know because I mean, she kind of only shows a little bit parts of herself too. You never really know who people are, so they could be very similar in ways, and that I don't know. But he doesn't. He seems very like they seem polar opposite. Like he seems very obnoxious and kind of not kind of arrogant and stuff. And she's very like humble and stuff. So it's like I don't know. I'm questionable about their relationship too sometimes, but
Mhm.
maybe opposites attract, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, last on the docket, we have the infamous Cat Williams interview. I mean, it's taking the world by storm. Um, it's it's a lot to really unpack with this one, and um, I guess for me, um, you know, when I saw this, I thought this might be promo for something. And as it turns out, Cat Williams is on tour. A lot of his shows have sold out, and this was one epic rollout, like really getting people talking. Um, you know what? In his interview, he talked a lot about people being original and people kind of taking ideas and using it and elevating. To be honest, I'm all for when people do that. Like it doesn't bother me any because one, the people who have elevated, it's not going to de-escalate them in any way. They're already where they are, but it gives kind of props to the originators who have often been left in the shadows or may not have seen as much success. And for someone, it takes someone to stand up and acknowledge, hey, these people were the originators of this. So I like when people do that. I don't see anything wrong with it. Because oftentimes people don't get their flowers and people take their ideas and use them. I've been that's happened to me. So if somebody were to come out and say, "Hey, so and so did this, she did this first," and I'm like, "Yeah, right on." I'm sure the people that you know who he's talking about don't like it, but you got your success. It shouldn't really like you may see a little decline, maybe, but you can also use what this person said to promo whatever you got going on. Like I feel like nobody really gets hurt. Now all that Illuminati jazz, not into it. Don't know nothing about it. I'm staying far away from that. But other than that, I enjoyed the interview. He was entertaining. The host, Shannon Sharp, don't really know much about him. Seen a lot of clips of him with Ocho. Um, yeah, I really don't have much to say about him. I feel like he's people were being critical of his interviewing skills is like kind of the feedback that I saw from that. And as a person who's done an interview or two, it's a lot happening in an interview. Like it's a lot you got to manage. You got to be in the interview and then you got to like guide the interview. Like it's almost a two-person job. And I feel like when people are critical of interviews, and I think like he's new to doing that. He hasn't been doing that, I don't think, in a podcasting format. So give him some grace. And especially you got a person that's like ranting and rambling on, like, and you have a guideline that you have to like stay on, like that's hard. And I feel like Cat was he was rambling on, but well not rambling, but he was just talking a lot. And I feel like he was going off the rails from what he had prepared. So like I feel like that man did good to just get through that because ooh, I hadn't watched the whole thing. I saw it was 3 hours. I didn't even click on it. I just saw clips. But that's just kind of my feedback on that. What you think?
Yeah, the fact that it was 3 hours intrigued me a little bit more because I'm like, what else could he be talking about? Because there were so many clips coming out, and people are going to take out what's the most interesting parts to them, the most juiciest tea in the interviews. But a lot of the main part he talked a lot about his life, which I thought was interesting too. He talked about his upbringing and stuff. He was saying some kind of wild stuff like I read 3,000 books in a year and some stuff. Like people who talk like that when they're getting interviewed annoy me sometimes because people didn't bring this up, but a lot of time when he would ask him a question, he'd be like, "So when you're doing comedy, do you do this?" And he'd be like, "When you were a football player, did you do that?" And it's just like, answer the question. Like, why are you throwing it back at me? Like he did it like a few times. Like that would annoy me. Do you prepare for a show when you're about to go on stage? Do you prepare for a game when you about to go on the field? And that's what he was doing a lot. I'm just like, just answer the question, bro. Like, that was kind of annoying. And then it's like, the stuff he was saying was genuinely shocking, but then some of the stuff, it was just like, you don't need a dramatic pause after that. Like, he was like, what was he saying? Just like, kind of like a mic drop, kind of at the end of his sentences. All right. I'm just like, not every phrase needs to. Now, some of the stuff he was saying, I get why he mic dropped it, but it's like, okay, I read 3,000 books when I was 12. Mic drop. I adopted 7 children. Mic drop. Like, he just saying facts. Like, okay. Whatever. Some of those he created a few memes in that interview. It was funny. It was really funny. Some of the stuff he was saying. I mean, we could make 3 different videos about that interview because there are so many layers to it. And but that's one thing that stuck out to me that was kind of annoying me throughout the interview. Like, I would hate talking to him. Like, but he seems like a very, I got more insight of him as a person, which is interesting. The things he was saying about, black men being emasculated because they're wearing dresses. And a lot of creators have been making points that, like, no, like, black men aren't being emasculated. Black women are being emasculated. Black women are being made fun of when you're doing that. But I think that's just homophobia coming out. But yeah, that's really what I thought mostly. I thought it was funny. That's really all I thought about it. Because I mean, the unks are fighting. The unks are going at it. That was interesting. But it's always interesting knowing what's going on behind the scenes because I don't think necessarily he was lying at all about what he was saying. I just think like, especially with the Friday stuff, like I just think like with that situation, it was definitely different perspectives of what happened, like of mostly how people felt about what happened. So it's just like there's always different sides to the same truth. Everybody has a different truth.
Yeah.
And that may look different from all parties involved. So.
Okay. Well, your review was hilarious. So we're gonna do a TikTok of the day.
Adopted a black baby. Her name is Zoe, and I don't know what to do for her.
I just feel like he's being very performative with this baby, and I'm. This is a stranger. I don't even know this baby, but I'm genuinely concerned and worried because he was brushing that baby hair hard AF, like, and that scares me. Like, I want to rip him through the screen, like. And it's just the fact that you can tell this, this goes a lot. The adoption process is very extensive, and you have to have, money, to take care, be able to, have a baby and get that process done. And I can tell a lot of that was probably a majority of this him having maybe good financial background and all that. And he seems, prior to a person he's meeting, he seems like a good, generally good person, just face like on the surface, just meeting
I'm
you
hoping
throughout
to
the
get this
day.
TikTok over.
Hmm.
So I feel like that probably got him a lot through, and just the adoption process. I don't think there's nothing wrong with necessarily adopting a black child because at the end of the day, it's not good to be, in the system, but I would rather her be with a black parent because that worries me. Because you didn't even look up how to take care of the baby before you got it. You just it's like a dog or something to you. Like it's a baby. Like it's like a something you showing off, something to make conversation, like for content. And it's like that's all good, but what you gonna do when that baby start crying in the middle of the night? And it's like, oh no, this isn't for content anymore. This is an actual person I have to take care of until they're for the rest of their life. Like, and it worries me. Like, who if he's just acting like that about her hair and making it seem like just a chore that he already has to deal with, you don't even have to do nothing to her hair yet. He's already making it seem like it's such a
Exactly.
chore and making is that's gonna and black women already feel insecure about our hair. The world treats us terribly about our hair anyway. So he's already putting that on her before she can even talk, like or even realize that. And it's like, like that worries me because then it's like, are you gonna protect her when she's faced racism possibly around your white friends or acquaintances or are you gonna protect her? Are you gonna make sure she's like respected amongst like your family, your people that you know? And I don't feel like he's gonna do that. I mean, of course, like 10 years from now, that could be a long time. I think there's always room for change and room to learn and educate yourself. But he is off to a terrible start. Like it's very disgusting, honestly. And she's so young. You're posting her and stuff so young like such to a big platform and I just truly believe that he's using her for content.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
it's getting like.
I adopted this black baby. Oh my God. Just that part alone was
Right, it's
cringe
like
worthy.
so disgusting, like who does it? And now he's deleted all his social media and stuff because people kept like coming at him and it's just like do the research for yourself. It's not hard to Google. That's how you know you did it for attention. You probably should regret the fact that you wished you got on Black TikTok. That's the biggest regret of your life that you
And I
said
could see
that.
him, and with his face, I could see him now going in there and be like, "Look what you did! Look, you caused this." Da 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 da. He
Mhm.
definitely gives that vibe. Like I hope that
Yes, like
baby is
he's
okay.
so disconnected, and it's just like he gives like because there's a type of like white people who are I feel like who are gay or in the LGBTQ community, they feel like they can because there's a lot of black people in the LGBT community, they feel like they have like a connection to us. Some I feel like for a reason, and that's fine in regards of their community being LGBTQ, but I feel like they always want to be the white person that's invited to the cookout and try to accommodate little things that we say and stuff because of just the proximity to blackness that they probably have just from being in that community. And he's trying to do that with black women, because black women are very accepting and loving and understanding towards people, and we mother people a lot. We take care of people a lot, and we're always like connected to like the gay community, whether it's just like how we present or the things that we say, things like that. So it's easy for us to like befriend maybe people like him, but he just like pretty much saying like, hey, black people, help me, I got a black baby, help me, black people, black people, come on, black people, all black people, come help me. Like it's just like kind of weird. Like, and people
And
making fun of him and like, hey, they had a doll baby. And I just got this white baby, and I just had some Garnier Fructis spray for this white baby. Can all you white people help me? Tell me how to take care of the white baby's hair? Like, that's exactly how he was.
that's almost like what is it called? Blackface,
Yeah,
basically. But I feel like with this man, he could have simply, if he was really concerned about this, he could have went to like a local salon, or I
right.
mean, like you said, it is just a baby, so it's not much that is necessary. Like, but a local salon say, hey, I've adopted a child, da da da. Can you give me some tips?
Yeah.
something simple. And
Yeah.
then if he wanted to make content, then maybe make content about what the tips were in me trying this. That would have
Yeah.
been a little bit better. But
Yeah.
this,
It's like a white. I feel like kind of with people like Angelina Jolie. I feel like with her, it's like not necessarily for content because she's not, a content creator, but I feel like with her, it's more like a white savior type of complex that she
hmm
has, where she
hmm
wants to like save the children and save the world and stuff. And I feel like, from seeing like videos of her, you know, sending her daughter to like HBCUs and stuff and like putting her in those black spaces, I think she does a good job of, supporting her daughter and
trying
her
to
other
cater
children.
to her lifestyle.
Yeah, and what she would probably be doing if she had a black parent or something. I feel like she does a good
hmm
job of that. Um, So that's why I say I'm not completely against a white parent adopting a black child because she gave her a wonderful life and she's also connecting her to her culture. So I mean, I hope he does that. But just seeing him brush her hair like that, that scared me. Like that genuinely scared me. Like, he's brushing her like a doll baby. Like, it's sick.
That wraps up episode 23, Culture Cousins Podcast. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, like, share, comments, your thoughts on the episode, any suggestions, and again, random posts, random uploads. Try to do this twice a month at least, and we will see you next time.